Good evening, everyone. Is my voice echoing?
Yes, ma'am. You are clearly visible. You are clearly audible, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Sharni, echoing, you're echoing.
Okay, just a second.
Hmm. So, how is everyone doing? Is everyone doing good? You can drop your answer in the chat box. So, Sunday evening, is everyone good? Hmm. I don't know how many of you like Sundays. Those who missed out can, get up to date. So we'll do that until that technical issue is solved and the live stream starts. So I'm just going to repeat what I taught on Wednesday's class for strings. So what is a string? So a string is a collection of characters. But what is a character? A character is anything you see on your keyboard. A, B, 1, percentage, caret, anything. So this is a character. So a collection of characters, say my name, is a string. It need not just be this. It can be 1, 2, 3. It can have and star anything. So this is a string. So there are the key difference in strings when you code in C++ and Java is in Java strings are immutable. That means their value cannot be changed. So when you try to change the value of a string, it will not happen in Java. You cannot modify a string's value. Yeah, the internal implementation is, I don't wanna give you guys too many tricky things to remember, but just remember in Java, your strings are immutable. This is an interview question also. So your string value cannot be modified. Each time you try to modify, a new string is created and your variable is going to point to the new string. And in C++, they are not immutable. So you can modify strings. So we solved a problem. Okay, yeah, look at this. This is a string. Anything that is surrounded with double quotes. So we solved a string problem on Wednesday. So I'll just tell you some basic things you need to know about strings. You can basically know two operations. One is Akshay, and another string can be Hrithik. So I can join these two strings to make this. This is going to be another string, which is a sum of the above strings. So this is just going to be joined to this. So this is called concatenation. So remember, one is concatenation, the other one is substring. So from this, if I just take out this HIK and I write it here, this is, we are accessing a substring of the original string. All right, so this is substring. So just remember these two, this should be enough for you as you're all beginners. And how you want to, how you're going to access strings in Java and C++ is different. So we'll just go through that, all right? Accessing, we'll just do that much. So say I have a string name is equal to John space Doe. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than name dot length I plus plus. So I'm just looping through every single character. So how am I going to access this character? It is name, and just how we do for arrays, same way you'll access the characters for strings in C++. It's different for Java. So see what happens now. So as you can see, each character was printed. So this is how you do it in C++. So this is plenty for you guys. If you know this much, you can actually start working on string questions. You know how to access each and every character. And also just remember, you can do comparison operations on strings. You can say if this is equal to another string or not. I didn't teach it on Wednesday's class, so I'll just brush through. Let's say name to. Here I can do cout name1 is equal to name2. So this is going to check true or false. Oh yeah, I missed a semicolon here. I think this is not allowed in so else will do cout false. Right? It's false because they are not equal. So let me try using lowercase DOH and DOE. Are these equal? You see, it's going to be false again. So every character should match, because an uppercase J and a lowercase j are not the same character. They mean the same thing in English, but they are not the same character. Now you see this. It's true because they have matched. So you can also do something like comparison. So you do apple and you do, you know, let's say berry. So now I'll do, if name 1 is greater, print apple, else berry. So I'll tell you what's gonna happen. Uh, so the thing is, oh, sorry, I used a smaller b. Now you see it's gonna say berry because B comes in later after the A, right? So say now I use a lowercase a, see what happens. It says apple. Why does it say apple when B is supposed to be higher than A? It's because of the case. So how your computer is going to be recognizing, how your computer is going to be recognizing characters is with this ASCII value. So each and every character on your keyboard has a number associated with it. This is going to be converted to binary, and you're going to get the uh, you know integer value of that. So when you say capital A, you see its value is 65, and capital B it is 66. But if you see small a, it is 97. So all of these comparisons happen based on this. All right, I hope you guys are getting it. So all of the comparisons are going to happen based on this. So if you see what's happening here is, it's going to take the first character and the first character. This is 98 if I'm not wrong. Sorry, this is small, right? So it's 66 and it is 97. So here if you see it's 97 and here it is 66. So is 97 greater than 66? No, that's why we're coming into. Yeah, actually 97 is greater than 66. So you're going into this instead of going to the else. So this is how string comparisons are done, how you can access each and every character, and how you can create strings. You just use these double quotes. So this is for C++. For Java, we can just go ahead with this, and this is the code I used for that day. So here you're going to use a capital S. That's how you do it in Java. Just remember this. So string name is equal to John Doe. So you cannot access it like you do like for an array. Here it's exactly like how you access for an array, right? You use square brackets. But here if you see, it is this function called char at. So you write the string and you write dot character at index, what index you want. So this is going to print John Doe again. And as for the comparisons, it is exactly the same as it is in C. So is everyone fine with this explanation for, oh yeah, curly braces. So one very helpful way for you to understand curly braces is, a curly bracket, what it does is, it puts a set of code as a single entity. So what happens is, if is just going to execute one part. So whatever is inside these curly brackets is considered as one part, right? So whenever you have just one statement, just that one statement is there, that one statement get executed or not executed. That is why you use this. So this is not just for if and else. The same applies to for loops, while, and do while also. These are just small programming syntax related things that you'll catch on when you start coding yourself. All right, Ajay. So I guess we can start, right, Sharana, if you're here with the next few topics.
Yeah.
All right. So that is for strings. We'll be doing string problems tomorrow. For today, we will be doing a few array problems, and then we'll see how many we can cover. So I'll just do it, and you'll basically, this is for array, right? Yeah. So we'll do this, and you can basically see how you can solve a problem and how you can approach a solution. So we'll just skim through this part of the question. There are n people in a vaccination queue. Chef is standing in the P8 position. From the front of the queue, it takes X minutes to vaccinate a child and Y minutes to vaccinate an elderly person. Assume chef is an elderly person, all right. You are given a binary array. So binary is 0 and 1, an array consisting of 0 and 1, A12 up to AN of length n. So there are n elements where A of I is equal to 0 denotes that there is an elderly position, elderly person in the position I. And if it is 0, it denotes that there is a child standing there. You are also given 3 integers p, x, and y. Find the number of minutes after which, just make sure, after which chef's vaccination will be completed. They're not saying when it will start, they're saying when will it be done. So you see your input first line is T for test cases, then you have N, P, X, and Y. So here N, we know N is the number of people, P is the position where he's standing, X is for children, and Y is for elderly people. So the second line is going to have all of the binary array elements that denotes the queue. So we got this. So output for each test case, you need to have a single line, the number of minutes after which the chef's vaccination is completed. So these are all constraints. We'll ignore them for now. You see, this is T, this is N, P, X, and Y, and this is the array. So N, P, X, and Y, this is the array. N, P, X, and Y, and this is the array. So here it says four array elements. He is at the second position, so he is here. It takes 3 minutes for a child and 2 minutes for an adult. So it's going to take 3 minutes for this child, and it's going to take 2 minutes for chef. So overall 3 plus 2 is 5. We're going to get 5. So this is how we're going to solve this. If you see, the explanation is also the same. Let's get solving then. All right. Actually, I should have kept it open. All right. Let's go to C++ and then, so first you think about your inputs. Have T for test cases, so you do C in T. You're gonna take number of test cases, which is the first one that is there in the input file. So it is this. We're gonna take this and we're gonna loop while T minus minus. Actually, let's go while T is greater than 0. I'll make it a bit simpler. So after each test case runs, you're just going to make T is equal to T minus 1. Basically, this is what it is. You're going to start with maybe 3 test cases. So when the third one is done, T minus 1 is T becomes 2, T becomes 1. So when T is greater than 0, you do something and then you do T minus 1. The same thing can be written as T minus minus greater than 0, because this is post decrement. So T's value is going to be 3 for now. So the next time when you come here, it is going to be 2. Or if I have T here, the value in the next line is going to be 2, not in the current place. So that is post decrement. If I did something like minus minus T, 3 is going to become 2 right here and then. But when we do T minus minus, in the next line it's going to be decreased. So that is why we are writing it like this. So remember this. And now the next part is we have 4 integers, N, then we have P, then we have X, and we have Y. All right. So we're going to read these basically. Cn, you're going to read N, you're going to read P, you're going to read X, and you're going to read Y. Done. So now all you need to do is write a for loop. So if you see chef is going to be standing in any one of these positions, and this is a queue. You're going to start from here and you're going to go this way. So what are you going to do? For int I is equal to 0 to index I less than p, because this is position and you're starting from 0, right? If it here you're counting 1 and 2, but the index is 0 and 1, so you're starting from 0 and you're going less than 2, which is 1. So I less than p, I plus plus. So you just need to write a simple thing here. And let's create something called int solution. All right, and we're going to set it to 0. So what we're going to do is if oh, there's a space missing here. All right, if oh, we didn't read the array, so we need to read the array. So again, for int I is equal to 0 plus plus, sorry, I less than n, I plus plus, and we need to create an array, right? So int a of n. Here, what is the, see, I told you, right? If it's just one line, you don't need curly braces, so I won't be using it. So you're going to write cn a of I. Done. Here, you're just going to traverse through the array. If a of I is equal to 0, then solution plus equal to x. So this basically means solution is equal to solution plus x. So the short way of writing it is solution plus equal to x. Else, we're gonna do solution plus equal to y. So if it is 0, that means it's a child. You're gonna add x minutes. If it is not 0, it is going to be 1. You're gonna add y minutes. So just give me a second. Yeah, guys, sorry about that. So this is all there is. You're just moving from 0th position to the pth position. You're gonna add x if it is a child. You're gonna add y if it is an adult. At last, what you need to do? See out solution, and you're gonna add a line break and done. So here, this is the custom input. Let's run it and test and see if it works. So we got 5, 3, and 6. It is 5, 3, and 6. Our output is matching, so our code is correct. What you can do, you can submit it. So now it will test for other test cases, and we'll see if our solution is correct or not. And it is correct. So I'll tell you guys another way you can save some time. Here you're running 2 for loops separately. You know what you can do? You can simply do this, and you can do this, and you can write an if condition here. If I less than p, and you can just take this part of the code, Control X, and you can paste it here. And you don't need this anymore. So let's run this and have a look if it works. It still works. So what we are doing is, while taking input itself, we are doing the calculation. Take note, this only works if you're going one by one. So if this is independent of this, so our x is independent of what is next to it, right? So if it is 0 here, our x is going to be 3. It doesn't matter if there's a 1 or a 0 or anything in front of it. Since it doesn't matter what is there ahead of it, we have just moved everything into a single for loop. You don't need to do this. I'm just telling you that this is also a way you can do it to sometimes save time. So, we won't be doing it. So, as beginners, you can code it like this. You're gonna read the array, and this is your logic. I'll just give you some comments. Reading array, calculating time, right? So this is how we solve the first one. Is everyone fine with this? Did you guys understand how we solved it? Yes or no, guys? We got one yes. Any more? No, maybe. We got two yes. Three. Oh, looks like everyone is understanding it. Good. So just remember, read the question properly. Try to find the answer here itself before you start coding. Try to calculate it in your mind and see if you're going to get the answer just in your head, or maybe you can use a piece of paper, and then you start coding. First you understand what you're going to code. A lot of people, what they do is they just try to start coding without knowing what they want to code. So it's good if you guys first understand the question really well. So the second question for arrays are chef and IPC certificates. Oh, it's this one. Fine, let's see. There were N students, numbered 1 to N, participating in Indian programming camp. They watched a total of K lectures. All right, numbered 1 through K. For each student I and each lecture J, the ith student watched J lecture for T of I comma J minutes. So this is really confusing right now, but don't you know don't get stressed seeing this T, I, J and all of that. Forget about it for now. Just try to understand the question, the bare concept, what they want. Additionally, for each student I, we know that the student has asked the question, what is the criteria for getting a certificate Q of I times? So basically, there are N students and K lectures. Each student watched some minutes of each lecture, and each student asked some Q number of times what is the criteria to get a certificate. So now here what is written. The criteria for getting a certificate is that the student must have watched M minutes of lectures in total and must have asked the question no more than 10 times. So basically, you just need to count the number of minutes a student has watched every lecture, add it if it is coming up to M or more than M, and if the person asks the questions, 10 or less than 10 times, they are gonna get the certificate. So just understand that much, and you're gonna get all your information from here. Basically, this input part. The first line of the input contains 3 space separated integers n, m, and k. So n is number of students, m is number of minutes required, and k is number of lectures. If I'm not wrong, k is number of lectures. So n lines for each valid I, and I of these lines contains blah blah. Leave that. So look at this. Each line has k plus 1 space separated integers. So there are k lectures, but there are k plus 1 because this is gonna all but the last are gonna tell you the minutes they watched, and the last is telling you the number of times they asked the question. So it's basically almost the same as any other question, but they've written it in a way that you might get confused. So here you see there are 4 students, so 4 lines, and 8 is the minimum criteria. They should have watched 8 minutes. If I'm not wrong, yeah, they should watch 8 minutes, and there are 4 lectures. So if you see, there are 4 lines like this. Each line has 4 plus 1. If you see, there are 5. 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1. So the last one is the number of times they ask the question. So this is the number of minutes they've watched. So if you see the first one, 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2, that basically makes 6. So this person has watched only for 6 minutes. So he is not eligible. He will not be getting the certificate. So you see this person, 3 plus 5 plus 1 plus 3. So that makes a total of 12. And he only asked the question 4 times. So he is eligible. You see these two people, they have watched, they have asked the question 11 and 12 times, they are not eligible. So only one person is eligible. So your output is going to be 1. So this is how you're going to solve this. So let's try and solve it with code. Give me a minute. Let me just turn on my phone. Tell me if you have any trouble hearing me since my fan is on. Is everyone fine? Can you all hear me? Yes, no? Can you hear me? All right. Yeah, fine. Let's start coding this. Oh, same mistake. Just keep it for reference here and C++, good. So let's write our code. So first we need to take, do we have test cases? No, we do not have test cases. We directly jump in. So we don't need to do that. So just int nmk, right? For now we'll go with this nmk. And how we're gonna do this? All right, we'll have a look as we go on. So now what we're gonna do is cn n m, oh, I missed one. So we'll first basically read the inputs nm and k. So now I think we will be needing 2 for loops. Let's see. Int I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So this for loop is going to iterate through each and every line for m. So what we need to do is we need total, we'll make something called int solution is equal to 0. Sorry, we'll not call it solution. Total m is equal to 0. And what we're gonna do is we're basically just going to have another for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than k plus 1, because they're going to give for k plus 1 positions, I plus plus. And we can write another, we might need another one called count. Count will set to 0 because count is the number of students who are eligible. So what we'll do is if I not equal to k, so if it is not the last position, then we'll simply do, we don't even need to read it and store it in an array. You can just do the calculation directly. So we'll have total m, right? So total m plus equal to, okay, we'll read something. We'll just call it what, val, int val, and we'll do cn of val. It's an array problem, but we're not even using an array because of the way the data is structured. So you're totally fine with that sometimes, because if you want to use an array, right, ideally I think they're expecting you to use a 2-dimensional array, which is simply going to make the code very, it's going to make it long, unnecessarily long, first thing. And it's just a waste of time for you and the interviewer to write it like that. So basically you can just write it like this. So if it is not, I'm just going to add val to it, and we are basically done. So what we're going to do here is, after the for loop, you are just going to write if total m is greater than or equal to m, and so say I'll have another thing called int q for questions, and here I'll write else q is equal to 12. The last one is the number of times the question is asked, right? So that is what we're storing here. So what you're doing is, and q is less than or equal to 10 to count plus plus increase count, and after every single time this is run, this is reset to 0, this is not even initialized, this is perfect, your code is done. So you just come out of this for loop and you write cout count, you're done. So let's try it on our test input, see if it works. Something's missing. Yeah, we forgot a semicolon, and let's run it again. And our output is 1. Expected output was also 1. So see, this is an array question, but we didn't even need to make an array. So as long as you have the concept of how an array works in your head, right? For some problems, you won't even need to make it. You can just directly solve it like this. So let's submit it and have a look. And this is correct. So I mean, you guys could try to solve it using a 2D array. So basically what you have to do is, instead of reading it like this, you will have 2D array int n and int a of n and k plus 1. Then what you will need to do is, here basically you need to read it like this. Forget about this code for now. If you were to use a 2D array, you would have read it like this. Cn a of I, and here j, you would have read it like this, and then you would have stored it, and whatever logic we did again, right, outside you would have had to create another for loop, and then done the same logic. So we've done the exact same requirement even without an array, because we know how arrays work. So basically this is, instead of creating an array, you're just taking the input itself as a 2D array. So that is what is happening. Is everyone fine with this explanation and how we reach the solution? I didn't give you guys a run through of the code. So what is happening basically, for each row, you are resetting the total minutes, because for each student, the number of minutes he watched is, different. So the number of minutes I watched maybe 10, you guys will watch 11, 12, 8. So it's different. So you're setting it to 0. And for each student, the number of times he has a question is also unique. So you're gonna have it like this. So for each student's lectures, here what am I basically doing? I'm saying if it is not the last element, it is a lecture thing. So I'm saying total number of minutes is equal to the value that is being read. Else, this is for questions, I'm setting it to question. After that, it is a basic if condition. If total number of minutes is greater than or equal to m, and the number of times the question is less than or equal to 10, count plus plus. That's about it. So is everyone fine with this explanation? Yes, no, guys? We got 1 yes. 2. And then be sure or what, guys? fell asleep? Hello. I guess we have just 2 people awake, huh? All right, so let's move ahead to another question. I think this much should be fine for arrays. Let's try 1 or 2 on sorting, perhaps. We'll see 1 or 2 on sorting. Right. Smallest pair. All right. Let's see what this question is. So I'm reading the question. You are given a sequence A, 1, 2 up to n. Find the smallest pair possible of A of I plus A of j. So you need to find the smallest 2 numbers. All right, the smallest 2 numbers you need to find, and you need to give the sum of the smallest 2 numbers. So basically what you can do is, you see this 5, 1, 3 and 4. So the smallest 2 numbers are 1 and 3. You're gonna add these and the sum is 4. That is what they want. The easiest way for you guys to do it is, we can sort the array, correct? So see, int t for test cases. We have it. Yeah, we have our test cases, and we have number, and let's see how it goes. Int t, again cn of t, while t minus minus greater than 0. For each test case, we're going to do this again. Int n and int a of n, right? And we'll just read our n here, cn of n. Cool. So we have done this. You just need to read an array. For int I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, you're gonna read the elements of the array a of I, cn a of I. We have read the array. Now we need to sort it. We'll use a bubble sort for this. For int I is equal to 0, I less than n minus 1, I plus plus. I hope you all remember bubble sort. I taught you this. For j is equal to n minus I minus 1, j plus plus. So this bubble sort we've already discussed. This is the number of elements that have already been sorted, starting from 0 and it goes to n minus 1. This is basically the swapping and sorting that is going to happen. If array of j is greater than array of j plus 1, I'm basically just going to swap int temp is equal to a of j, and I'm going to say a of j is equal to a of j plus 1, and a of j plus 1 is equal to a of, sorry, it's going to be temp. So we have sorted our array. This entire thing, where does it stop? Stops here. So here our array is sorted. So you just need to do cout a of 0 plus a of 1, the smallest 2, because they are at the first positions, and L, and you're done. So this should hopefully work. Let's have a look. Oh, we have not given any. We got 4. So basically we are sorting it. After sorting, this is going to be 1, 3, 4, 5. The smallest 2 are at position 0 and 1. After sorting, it is going to be at 0 and 1, right? If it's at 1, 3, 4, and 5, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So at 0 and 1, you have the smallest 2. So you're just going to add it and you're going to display it. That is all it is. So problems may get tougher, but the only thing is the way you're going to give the final output is going to change. The sorting is never going to change. See, you're going to use the same sorting algorithm no matter what, you know. So it's running. Let's have a look. So all the test cases passed. So this is saying time limit exceeded. So what you got to do is, so what is basically happening here is, this as I said, this has a time complexity of n square. So for 100 elements, it's going to take what? 10,000 operations. So you need to use something like a quick sort, perhaps that would be faster. So just the algorithm has to change. But if you see, 3 subtasks are done. I'm not really going to go into quick sort because you might not even need it. You know, for now, this is enough. Is everyone fine with this explanation for how we got that? So we got 1. Yeah, just these 2. Anyone else wants to drop a message in the chat? All right. So this time we got 3. So basically, all your problems are just a matter of mind over matter. You know, you just have to know what to deploy in which circumstance. So here you knew that sorting is going to work. Actually, you don't even need to sort here. There is a very easy way. I'll teach you guys that. So you need to find out the 2 smallest numbers, right? So basically what you can do is, you can do it in a single for loop here. In I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, right? You can say, I think it is called C limits. C limit or C limits. It is C limits. All right. So C limits basically gives you, we're going to use it to get the upper and lower limit. I'll show you what it is. So let's say int small and second smallest, small 2. Okay. I'm going to give them the value of int max, the maximum possible integer value. Int max. So this int max is coming from that C limits. All right. So what you need to do is, here you basically need to do, if a of I, all right, is less than small, is less than small, you're gonna do, small is equal to a of I, or you can do else if a of I less than small 2 and A of I greater than small. You need to find the smallest and the second smallest, right? So it should be smaller than the second smallest, but greater than the smallest to be the second smallest. All right, small 2 is equal to of I, and you're done. Here I just need to do out small plus small 2 indel. And this is done in just an order of n. So let's try to first run it and make sure everything's fine. So you see, sometimes it might be an array question, but if you go with an array solution, you'll get TLA, time limit exceeded. I hope this works. Not really sure because you can't see the test cases. Running the third one. Everything is wrong. Nice. So what is wrong here? Let's find out. So if A of I is less than small, it is going to be true. So if it is less than smallest, it will go to small. Okay. I think I just need to add another one. It will be lesser than small too also. Alright, I think this might work. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. So programming is basically trial and error after time. Still not working. Anyone has any ideas why it's not working? Int max, that's all fine. Yeah, I is going to be some value which will be less than small, and it will be less than small too as well. So we will be putting the smaller value here. So the next time we get something called okay. The problem was here. Small 2 is equal to small. I think this should fix it. That also didn't fix it. So basically, we are putting the smallest. It will be the smallest. It's going to go to small, and then a small 2 is going to be current small. For first iteration, it should work. The second iteration, what is happening? Say 5 is going to be small, and when 1 comes, I'll show you guys how to debug at this point. It's going to be helpful. So what we can do is basically out small, and I'll have a space, and I'll have small 2, right? Now after each and every, and we'll say in if or in else, we'll have something like an endl. So this is how you can debug your code in L. And what you can do is here you can have something called cout in if, and we want to see what is A of I, and we want to see what is A of is small and what is small 2. So we can have some space for bit measure, right? And then we'll have an endl. And at last, we're going to have it here. Have it here. Here also we can slowly cut it off from here. Okay. And you're gonna put it here. So this is fine. And at last we can put another del for separation of blocks. Now for this example itself, let's run it and have a look. See what is happening. So here we're saying initially this is what it is, and then we're going inside if, because 5 is smaller than this value, and small and second smallest become 5. So that is the problem. So control X. So this should have been on top. Let's run this again and let's see what happens this time. So perfect. This time I think we're going to get it. Let me take off the unnecessary. So I don't, practice these questions beforehand before coming here, so that you guys also see the mistakes I make and how I fix them. Getting your code to run in the first attempt is never easy. See, we got it right. So how did we get it working? Because we use these couts and we are looking at. I think in the doubt session, someone asked how do we trace. So this is how you can actually trace. You see this? You for every location, all right, that something is happening, you just output the values in a way that you can understand. And then you run it for values that you already know, the custom inputs. So where you can see how the things are working in each and every step. So last time I saw that it should have been 5 and this value, but it was 5 again. So everything was being assigned to 5, the same value. So there I got to know the issue was after setting small, we are trying to set small too. So that was the error. So this is how you solve it. I think we took a lot of time today. Do you guys want to go on for another problem, or is this good enough for today? We did some array problems on sorting. All right. Tomorrow then. Have a nice Sunday for the rest of the day, guys. Thank you for joining. Did everyone understand? Yes, no, before we go? Or do we have to change our teaching methodology? Is everyone fine with the way I'm teaching? All right, that's good. See you guys tomorrow then. Yep, see you guys tomorrow then. Bye bye.
Also, just one more thing. Uh, Tomorrow will be our last class, and after that, in the coming week, we'll be having a contest on CodeChef, most probably. So make sure you do your VJudge assignments that were shared on your email, and if someone did not get it, we will be sharing them again soon on our Discord. So I'll just drop the link to our Discord. Make sure you join it. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you, Akshay, for the session.